What is happening in Ukraine today is the result of many years of preparation by the United States for a global hybrid war against Russia. The Russian Foreign Minister, Sergey Lavrov, has recently claimed that NATO is fighting Russia through Ukraine. This conclusion is plain to see. It's strange that the West is trying to refute it. The scale of NATO support to Ukraine clearly indicates that the West has a lot riding on this war against Russia. Currently, the United States is creating a coalition to wage war against Russia through Ukraine as its proxy in an attempt to finally resolve the Russian issue. Western officials do not hide their intentions and openly declare that the war in Ukraine should continue as it is in the interests of the United States. The executive director of the George W. Bush Institute claimed that Western countries should send tanks, fighter jets, and air defense systems to Ukraine, since the return of Crimea and other territories to Kiev's control is in the interests of Washington. According to him, concerns about escalation, including the use of tactical nuclear weapons, should not deter the West. The US presidential administration has reportedly begun to recognize Kiev's need for weapons to attack Crimea, even if such a step threatens to escalate the conflict. Washington is reportedly going to announce one of the largest packages of military assistance yet. The Ukrainian military may receive about 100 Stryker combat vehicles and at least 50 Bradley armored personnel carriers as part of this assistance, but the Abrams tanks that Kiev asked for will not be included in it. In its turn, London will send more than 200 armoured vehicles to Kiev. Earlier, London promised to hand over 14 Challenger 2 battle tanks. Polish authorities also announced their readiness to supply the Ukrainian army with a company of Leopard tanks. Canada will transfer 200 Senator armoured personnel carriers to Ukraine next summer. In its turn, the European Union has completely submitted to the United States. The apotheosis of this process was the joint declaration of the European Union and NATO signed on January the 10th. It states that the task of NATO and the EU is to use all economic, political and military means in the interests of the global golden billion, that is, the citizens of the so-called political West. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov remembered that all the others, in Borrell's words, are jungles that prevent the blooming garden from developing. So they need to be changed, adjusted to the Western needs, turned into colonies of a new type, and resources should be drained from these countries. Once the war in Ukraine is over, we will defend our truth, but I do not know how it will turn out. Everything will depend on what conclusions Europe makes, Mr. Lavrov concluded.